This is your Clark's Termite and Pest Control New Construction Termite Protection Service Agreement Training. It is the responsibility of every Clark's Termite and Pest Control employee to comply with our policy of business ethics and conduct. Disregarding or failing to comply with the standard business ethics and conduct could lead to disciplinary action up to and including possible termination of employment. All right, so to complete this training, you're going to need the New Construction Termite Protection Service Agreement. You're going to need your training binder. You're going to need a pen and a highlighter. And you're going to need to have seen the Formosan Addendum training first, because this contract references that. And if you don't if you've not seen the Formosan Addendum training, then you won't know what we're talking about. If you do not have the required items for this training, please pause this presentation and gather the needed materials now. All right, here's the disclaimer again. What you're about to see, you're going to be learning about a contract, so it will help you for your current job duties. If your current job duties do not include the fact that you are authorized to talk to a customer about their contract, then you can't talk to a customer about their contract. This is just for your information to help you do your job. You need to ask your manager if you're authorized to talk to a customer about a contract. So let's start off with page 1 of the new construction. We're going to look at step number 1. And basically, step number 1 says, tell us about you. So we need the homeowner's name. And most of this information will already be in there. The account number should already be there. The bond renewal date. And for your information, the bond renewal date is always 1 year from the date of closing. Of course, there would be the service address, the service city, state, and zip code. And the billing address, it could be different. It could be different from the customer's house. Maybe this is their second house. Maybe they have a P.O. box, but it could be different. So you have to make sure that it's in there. And then we need to have some phone numbers. And they could have a home phone number. They could have a work phone number. They could have a mobile phone number. Either or. They could have a phone number. But what we need to know is which one of these phone numbers. Please indicate your primary phone contact to be used when our service technician calls to set up treatments and inspections. So which phone number do they want to be contacted on if our technicians need to contact them? And they need to select one by putting a dot somewhere. Hopefully it's the first one. If it's not, then wherever that dot goes, that's what number they will put in, that it will be set up saying that this is the phone number that you're supposed to use. And of course, there should be an email address. All right, so let's take a look at step number 2. Step number 2 is where we get into the heart and the meat of the plans. And step number 2 basically is going to ask you for your first decision that you need to make, and is, would you like to include pest control with your termite protection? And it explains a little bit about our pest control system. Our exclusive Clark's Premier Pest Defense System combines the latest technology available with environmentally conscious technicians to provide our customers with a perimeter pest defense system that targets unwanted pests around the exterior perimeter before they enter your home. Our technicians visit your home 4 times a year for quarterly maintenance visits and treat the perimeter every visit, but limit inside treatments to as needed. Our quarterly maintenance service is guaranteed from reinfestation of roaches, spiders, ants, and other household pests. And it notes that German roaches, fleas, and rodents are excluded. So that explains what it is, and you can either want the pest control, and if you want the pest control, then these are all the termite packages that go along if you want pest control, or you do not want pest control, and these are all the packages that go with you don't want pest control. Now, taking a look at all of these, it may look overwhelming, but it's really not. If you take a look at it, all of them have a name. So everything highlighted in blue there, those are just the names. Each plan has a name. Everything highlighted in purple is telling you a bit about that plan. So each plan's got a name. Each plan's got a little bit of a description. The next thing is highlighted in green there. Every plan has the option of paying it one time a year, having it, or you can pay it quarterly, or you can pay it monthly. So any plan that you get, you have that option of paying one time, 4 times, or 12 times. Now, these 3 plans, you all have an additional opportunity or option. If you don't want to pay those, then you can pay as you go. Basically, as they get the renewal, they pay for it. As they get the pest control, they pay for it. So there's that option for these ones, not for the other side. And then these 2 plans here, there's an additional fee because we're installing Constrruction. Now, down at the very bottom of this screen, which is right underneath that center section, it says, costs shown above are for homes no more than 3,500 square feet. Homes from 3,500 square feet to 5,000 square feet are $10 more per quarter for the pest control. Larger homes, stucco homes, and homes made with specialized material require a free estimate. So that's that center section kind of in a nutshell. Let's mine into this, and we're going to pull up each plan individually, and we'll discuss each plan. All right, so the first plan we're going to look at is the Premier plan. Let's blow that up here. And it is called the Premier Plan Termite Protection plus Perimeter Pest Defense Package. And we have it notated that it is our best-selling protection plan, which it is. And what does it give us? It gives us a lifetime annual renewal. There is no deductible, and they get a $1 million termite damage protection bond. Well, that's pretty good. They have the option of paying $495 for an annual prepayment, or they can pay $125 quarterly, 4 times a year, or they can pay $44 monthly, which is 12 times a year. They also have the option, they can pay as they go, so they can pay $195 before we do their termite renewal, or they can pay $75 per pest control as they get them. Those are their options. Remember, when it comes to termite protection, it's prepayment. We want it prepaid before we do the inspection. So let's do the math on this one. Here's the Premier plan with all the different payment options. The first way is that they can pay one chunk of $495. That's it. They're done for the whole year. They can pay 4 payments of $125. Well, that will cost them $500 versus the $495. Or they can pay 12 payments of $44, which would mean that they would pay $528 for the year. Then lastly, they could pay as they go. They would pay 1 time for $195 and 4 times of $75, which equals $495. But if I was selling this, I would want them to pay it up front, the $495, because I would get my commission right away. That is the best thing for everybody. The customer doesn't have to worry about it. We get our money, and I get my commission. Everything. That's why one-time payment of paying the whole year in advance is the best way to go for everybody. All right, so let's move on down to the Platinum plan. Let's see what the difference is between the Platinum plan and the Premier plan. Blow it up. It's called the Platinum Plan Termite Protection, and it also has the pest control with it, plus Perimeter Pest Defense Package. And we are labeling this that this is the industry's best-selling protection plan. And this one also gets a lifetime annual renewal, so we never charge them again for anything. It's a one-time. And there is no deductible, and they get $1 million termite bond. Everything is pretty much the same as before, except for this gets a dual barrier, and the dual barrier is traditionally applied with termiticide and the Constrruction termite colony elimination system for premium protection. So they basically get a Constrruction system and something else done in order for the Platinum plan to take place. Now they can pay $535 one time a year and have everything covered, or they could pay $135 quarterly, or they can pay $47 monthly. And again, we also have the pay-as-you-go. They can pay $235 for their termite renewal when it comes due, and they can pay $75 a quarter for their pest control as it comes due. Now, the other difference is that in order to get this, they will need to pay a $250 installation fee for the baiting system, and that's billed at the time of the service that you install it, and it's not included in the payment plan. Again, the renewal is always going to be prepaid. So let's do the math on this one. Pull up the termite plan. Don't forget, all of this stuff is not including that they have to pay a one-time fee of $250. So that's got to be paid when we put the Constrruction system in the ground. So they can pay one time, $535, or they can pay 4 times at $135, which makes it $540, or they can pay $47 every month, which means they'd end up paying $564. And again, the pay-as-you-go is the same as a one-time payment, but again, if to get your commission, you really need to get, it's easier for the customer, easier for everybody involved to do the one-time annual prepayment. All right, let's take a look at the blue plan. Here's the blue termite protection plan. Again, it has the pest control with it, and we are labeling this that it is our basic termite plan. Well, what do we mean by basic protection plan? Well, this termite bond is only good for 5 years. So at the end of 5 years, the other ones were lifetime. At the end of 5 years, we need to come back and do something, and we're going to charge them. Now also, the first $500 of damage, the customer is responsible for. There's a $500 deductible. And of course, they, instead of getting $1 million termite bond, they're getting a $50,000 termite bond. The annual payment on this is $435, or $110 quarterly, or $39 monthly. And of course, it also has the pay-as-you-go. You can pay for the termite bond, $135 for the termite bond when you get it. And of course, the quarterly pest service is $75. And again, all of this is prepayment for the termite bond. I keep on saying this. I'm going to keep on saying it. Termite bonds all need to be prepaid before we do the inspection. So let's do the math on this one. Here's the blue plan. If they pay one-time fee, it's $435, or they can pay 4 quarterly payments of $110. That's $440, $5 more. Or they can pay 12 times of $39. That would equal $468. And the reason why it's more is that we get service charges every time that we process payments. So we have to charge a little extra to cover those costs for all those service charges. That's why there's an increase in it. Also, they can do the pay-as-you-go, $135 for the annual renewal, or 4 times $75 for the quarterly pest service. And again, the best thing for the customer and you is to get them to pay one time a year, again, for the annual prepayment. Again, everybody gets their commission. Customer doesn't have to worry about billing, and we reduce down a whole bunch of paper because we don't have to send out a bunch of notices and statements and all that. So it's good. One time a year payment is good. All right, so let's go on over to the other side. And the other side is that they've decided not to get pest control. And basically, the termite plans without pest control are similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. Let's take a look at the gold plan. We're going to pull up the gold plan. Gold plan, termite protection, just termite protection. It gets a lifetime annual renewal. There's no deductible. And the difference is that this one only has a $250,000 termite damage protection. Instead of having $1 million bond, they only get a $250,000 bond. And the annual payment is $195, or they can pay $52 quarterly, or they can pay $19 monthly. Obviously, there is no pay-as-you-go associated with it, because the actual pay-as-you-go is the annual payment, because that's the only thing they're getting. So that's why that's not on there. Again, prepayment, annual prepayment. So let's do the math on the gold plan. Of course, there's one time a year payment of $195, or they can do $52 a quarter, which means that they end up paying $208, or they can make monthly payments of $19, which means they end up paying $228. Again, the best thing for everybody involved is to get the one-time payment of it. So the gold plan is very similar to the premier plan, except for there is no pest control, and their bond is only $250,000 instead of a $1 million bond. That's the biggest difference between gold and premier. All right, so let's take a look at the platinum plan. It's exactly the same as the other platinum plan, except for this is the platinum plan without pest control. So we've already gone through this. The platinum plan features a lifetime annual renewal. There is no deductible, and they get a $1 million termite damage protection bond. And again, it has the dual barrier traditionally applied with termiticide and the Constrruction termite colony elimination system for premium protection. They have a choice of paying it one time a year for $235, or they can pay $60 quarterly or $22 monthly. And again, like the other platinum plan, there is a $250 installation fee for the baiting system at the time of service, and it's not included in the payment plans listed above. Again, prepay for the termite protection. So let's do the math on this one. Again, there is a one-time fee of $250 because we have to install the Constrruction system. So the first way of paying is $235 for an annual pay, or they could pay 4 times a year, $60, which means that's going to be costing them $240, or they can pay 12 payments of $22 for $264. And again, you know what I'm going to say, the one time a year to get everything paid up front is the best way to go. All right, and lastly, we have our blue plan, which is the same as the other blue plan, except for it doesn't have a pest control with it. So let's take a look at it. It's called the blue plan, and there's nothing else there. And again, this plan is only good for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, they are going to have to pay to have something done before we can do more termite protection for their home. The first $500 of damage is the customer's responsibility. There's a $500 deductible, and there is a $50,000 termite damage protection bond put on the home. They can pay a one-time fee of $135, so they can pay a quarterly fee of $36, or a monthly fee of $14. Again, prepayment, prepay. And let's do the math on the blue plan. They can pay one time a year, cost them $135, or if they do $36 a quarter, it's going to cost them $144, or if they do 14 monthly payments, it's going to cost them $168. You guessed it, the one time a year is best for everybody, and we have an annual payment of $135. And don't forget that little saying down at the very bottom down there. It says costs shown above are for homes of no more than 3,500 square feet. If the home is bigger than 3,500 square feet but less than 5,000 square feet, it's going to be $10 more per quarter for pest control. And anything larger than 5,000 square feet, or if it's a stucco home, or if it's homemade with specialized material, we're going to have to do an estimate for all these renewal and for all of these pest control prices. All right, so let's take a look at the bottom of page 1 under step number 3. Step number 3 means that you need to select from the following service and payment options. And basically, the services are going to be billed as rendered, meaning unless they pick one of these 3, annual, quarterly, or monthly, we're going to bill as we go. So they need to actually select that they want to be billed annually, quarterly, or monthly. Otherwise, we don't know. So again, under the Premier plan, that means pay as you go unless they select something. So if they don't select anything, we're going to bill them $195 when their renewal is due, and we're going to bill them $75 when their pest control is due, unless they tell us otherwise. So as stated all along, we really want people to select annual, meaning if they select annually, that means we're going to charge them one time a year for everything. But you have to know that, please note that quarterly and monthly billing options may require a larger initial payment for the termite protection portion if elections made within 6 months of your renewal date. So if they choose the other two, quarterly or monthly, that means we're going to require at least halfway paid for the termite renewal part of it. Annually doesn't, because we're going to bill them one time and they're going to pay everything, but the quarterly and monthly do. Now, the next section down, under payment options, that means that they contact me for more information on scheduling automatic payments to my credit card, and payment for services billed as rendered required payment at time or before service is performed. So they may want to pick pay as you go, but they'll put a credit card on file and will bill their credit card as they go. So that's why they would select this area here. And of course, we would like it if everybody went paperless. And for your convenience, you can receive your statements, notifications, and invoices via email. And we tell them that we respect your privacy. We'll only use your email for Clark's Termite Pest Control correspondence. We do not sell or distribute our customers' email addresses. So let's move on to page number 2. We're going to look at this top section of page number 2. And we pull up page number 2. It's pretty simple. We need to have the location, address, and of course the bond renewal date, which we already talked about earlier. And we're going to talk about treatment. On the anniversary date, the structure or structures identified on page 1 of the agreement, herein the selection page, was treated against ground-based infestation by native eastern subterranean termites, Reticulus flavus, and Formosan termites, Coppertermus formosanus, herein after subterranean termites. No fence, detached garage, outbuilding, deck, hot tub, or other building or construction at the above address is covered by this agreement unless specified in writing and reflected on the selections page and diagram. Warranty. Now, the first thing listed under the warranty is structures subject to the Formosan addendum are not eligible for the 1-year damage warranty until 24 months elapses without reoccurrence of Formosan subterranean termites within the structure. See selection page for indication of the Formosan addendum. Again, you should have seen the Formosan addendum before you got to this point so you can understand what the Formosan addendum is. All right, so moving on to the second part. Clark's will provide service including treatment and inspection as necessary to protect the structures from subterranean termites for a period of 1 year commencing on the anniversary date. The initial treatment is covered by a 1-year damage warranty in an amount indicated on the selection page. The damage warranty is renewable annually on the anniversary date for the renewal fee reflected on the selection page. Clark's reserves the right to adjust the renewal fee annually. Clark's will attempt to remind customer of the renewal, but it's the customer's responsibility to contact Clark's on or before the anniversary date to schedule the renewal inspection. The agreement does not provide protection against aerial termite infestation, drywood termites, dampwood termites, old house borers, powder post beetles, wood-destroying fungi, mold, or wood rot. The customer must report any signs and or evidence of termites or damage within 7 days of discovery of said infestation and or damage. Customer agrees to pay for services and renewals as specified on the selection page and the billing agreement and non-payment section. This agreement will renew on an annual basis unless either party gives notice in writing at least 30 days prior to the anniversary date of its election not to renew the agreement. Clark's maintains insurance coverage backing this agreement as required by applicable state laws. Information about this coverage is available upon request. All right, so we're going to move down to the center third section. And under re-inspections, Clark's will perform a visual inspection of the structure at least every 12 months or at intervals deemed by Clark's. The inspection will be of readily accessible areas only. Clark's will not open walls, remove floor coverings, or move furniture. Retreatment. Clark's reserves the right to retreat the structure as needed based on confirmation of new subterranean termite infestation. Retreatment will be performed to whatever degree is deemed necessary by Clark's. Retreatment on this agreement only applies to the structure originally treated by Clark's and identified in the diagram. Crawl space encapsulations and moisture control systems. This contract covers the treatment of termites in the event of a reinfestation occurs within the term of this agreement and subject to other provisions set forth herein. The customer agrees to assume all financial responsibility for the removal and reinstallation of any moisture control systems, including crawl space encapsulation and/or systems installed to control moisture in the crawl space using a vapor blocking material fastened to the structure or ground in the areas requiring treatment. Customer agrees that Clark's will not be responsible for the warranty or guarantee relating to the moisture control system in the event the warranty and/or guarantee provided by the installer, manufacturer, reseller is no longer enforceable, irrespective of whether the actions were directly related to Clark's endeavor to fulfill the terms of this agreement. All right, so down at the bottom of page number 2, future damages. Clark's agrees to provide protection against new subterranean termite damage to the structure and will make repairs as necessary to correct new damage provided 1. Damage was caused by subterranean termites after a date of initial treatment by Clark's. 2. Clark's finds or confirms infestation of the damaged area, visible or hidden, with live subterranean termites. 3. Clark's verifies evidence of damage before it is altered or destroyed. Number 4. All repair work is performed, directed, and approved by Clark's, subject to the deduction if applicable. Number 5. Clark's will not reimburse customer for any damages repaired by another company other than Clark's or its agent unless agreed to in writing by both parties prior to work commencing. And B, the damage warranty applies to all areas of the structure except, number 1, past or existing damage to the structure or its contents at the date of initial treatment caused by any wood-destroying organisms or insects, including termites, whether visible or hidden. 2, existing damage identified on the diagram, as available upon request. Number 3, damage resulting from secondary moisture conditions, including but not limited to fungi, whether or visible or not. 4, damage resulting from wood in direct contact with the soil, whether visible or not. 5, damage resulting from stucco, synthetic stucco, EIFS, and or rigid foam board or expanded foam materials in contact with the soil and or covering interior or exterior foundation walls in such a way as to provide termites with hidden or protected access to the structure, whether visible or not. 6, damage resulting from masonry failure or grade alterations. Number 7, again, this is all damage warranty applies to the areas except damage caused by infested wood and or infested furniture introduced into the structure after initial treatment, except for personal expenses such as lodging, meals, transportation incurred as a result of treatment, retreatment, and or damage repair. All right, so let's go to page number 3. And we're going to continue on with the exceptions. Of course, you need to have the location and initial bond renewal date on there. Number 9, painting/wall coverings. Number 10, floor coverings. Clark's cannot guarantee a specific floor covering can be matched to the style or color. Clark's will replace flooring with a similar grade, color, and style available at the time of repair. All expenses associated with upgrades and variations are the customer's responsibility. If the flooring is contiguous with other rooms or areas with the same flooring, and customer desires the same style flooring throughout the other rooms, customer will be responsible for the expense of replacing flooring in rooms or areas with no damage. Worn flooring is subject to prorating. Clark's liability is limited to the remaining useful value of the flooring prior to covered damage. And number 11, damage is found when an inspection has not been performed in the previous 15 months. All right, so let's go to the general terms and conditions. General terms and conditions, additions or alterations to structure. Customer will immediately notify Clark's in writing prior to or within 3 days after the structure is structurally modified, altered, or otherwise changed, or if the soil is removed or added. Additionally, customer will promptly notify Clark's in writing following any other physical disturbance of the soil resulting from storm, flooding, or other occurrences. Such additions or disturbances may result in the need for additional treatment of the premises at customer's expense and may alter the annual renewal fee. Additions or alterations made without a supplemental treatment and agreement by Clarks void this agreement, and all retreatment and damage repair expenses will be the responsibility of the customer. Conditions conducive to infestation. Customer warrants full cooperation with Clarks during the terms of this agreement and agrees to maintain the area treated free from any factors contributing to infestation, such as wood, trash, lumber, direct wood-soil contact, cellulose debris, or standing water under pier-type structure. Customer also agrees to notify Clarks of and to eliminate faulty plumbing, leaks and dampness from drains, condensation or leaks from the roof, or otherwise into, onto, or under the treated areas. Clarks reserves the right to terminate this agreement if customer fails to correct any condition, including but not limited to the conditions listed above, which contribute or may contribute to infestation. Clarks is not responsible for any damage caused to the structure as a result of any conducive condition. Failure of Clarks to note herein any of the above conditions to customer does not alter customer's responsibility under this paragraph or waive Clark's right to terminate this agreement. All right, let's go to the specific exclusions area. Specific exclusions. The agreement does not cover, and Clarks will not be responsible for these four things. A, damage existing in areas that were enclosed or inaccessible at the time of initial treatment, including but not limited to areas concealed by wall coverings, floor coverings, ceilings, furniture, equipment, appliances, stored articles, or any portion of the structure in which inspection would necessitate removing or defacing any part of the structure. Because damage may be present in areas which are inaccessible to visual inspection, Clarks does not guarantee that the damage disclosed on the diagram represents all of the existing damage as of the date of this agreement. The diagram is not drawn to scale. B, damages resulting from treatment methods required to fulfill the terms of the agreement, including but not limited to chipping and cracking of masonry surfaces. C, damages to underground or hidden utilities, including electric, water, phone, and gas lines, unless clearly marked by the customer or its representative prior to any treatment, including subsequent treatments as a result of reinfestation. And D, damages to any moisture control systems, including crawl space encapsulation and or systems installed to control moisture in the crawl space using machinery and or vapor blocking material fastened to the structure or ground in the areas requiring treatment. All right, so let's go down to the bottom of page number 3. We're getting there. Under termination of liability, Clark's liability under this agreement shall be terminated, and Clark's will be excused from the performance of any obligations under this agreement should Clark's be prevented or delayed from fulfilling its responsibilities under the terms of this agreement by reasons or circumstances reasonably beyond its control, including but not limited to acts of war, whether declared or undeclared, acts of any duly constituted government authority, strikes, acts of God, or a refusal of customer to allow Clark's access to the covered structure for the purpose of re-inspecting or carrying out the terms and conditions of this agreement. Notice of claims. Any claim for repair of termite damage under the terms of the agreement must be made in writing within 3 business days of customer discovering a live infestation of subterranean termites to Clark's at P.O. Box 465, Irmo, South Carolina 29063. Arbitration. This agreement is subject to arbitration pursuant to the South Carolina Uniform Arbitration Act or other applicable state or federal arbitration laws. Deductible. If the Blue Plan Termite Protection Bond is elected on the selection page, the damage warranty is subject to a deductible. Clark's will make the necessary repairs on a time and materials basis and invoice the customer for the lesser of actual damages or the deductible amount. All right, so let's go to page number 4. We're in the home stretch here. All right, at the top of page number 4, of course, the location, address, and the initial bond renewal date needs to be there. Billing agreement and non-payment. Customer agrees to pay Clark's invoices upon receipt. That's not 60 days out, 30 days out. That's upon, they're due now. Payment plans other than as services are rendered are considered convenience payment plans and available to customers based upon credit worthiness. Any convenience payment plan other than annual prepayments require that 1/2 of the service be paid prior to services rendered. Again, we talked about that earlier on, that half of the renewal needs to be paid in advance. In order to meet this objective, Clark's will either begin billing up to 6 months prior to the anniversary date, if time allows, or require a larger initial payment to meet the 1/2 prepayment objective. Services rendered in the first 6 months of the initial agreement term or promotional offers are excluded, will be billed separately. Accounts are subject to a finance charge of 1.5% a month or $3, whichever is greater for balances over 30 days. After 60 days, customers are subject to a 40% collection fee to offset our cost of engaging a third-party collection agency to satisfy this debt. Invoices outstanding over 30 days will disqualify customers from future convenience payment options. Again, it says customer agrees to pay Clark's invoices upon receipt. And Clark's refuse the right to terminate this agreement if payment is not received within 30 days of the date of invoice. Okay? Severability, if any part of this agreement is held to be invalid or unenforceable for any reason, the remainder of this agreement shall remain in full force and effect. Applicable law. This agreement shall be governed by South Carolina law. Transferability. This agreement shall terminate upon transfer of ownership of the structure. At Clark's sole discretion, upon the payment of a transfer fee, a new agreement may be issued by Clark's to the new owner. All right, we're at the bottom half of page number 4. We're almost there. Disclaimer. It's always got to be a disclaimer. Clark disclaims any liability for special, incidental, or consequential damage. There are no guarantees or warranties expressed or implied except those specifically stated herein. There are no warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Chemical sensitivity. If customer or other occupants of the structure or adjacent buildings are elderly, infirm, or believe they are or may be sensitive to pesticides or termiticides or their odors, customer must notify Clark's in writing in advance of the treatment. Failure to provide notification represents customer's assumption of risk and waiver of claims against Clark's in connection with such sensitivity. Acceptance. By signing this agreement, I, the customer, certify that I have carefully read and fully understand the provisions of this agreement with all of its terms and conditions without limitations, and it being specifically understood that Clark's Termite and Pest Control and the underside are bound only by the terms of this agreement and not by any other representations, oral or otherwise. And of course, we need to have the date, the customer's signature, the customer's printed name, date, Clark's representative signature, and Clark's representative printed name. And again, the disclaimer. You're learning about this contract to help you with your current job duties. If your current job is not talking with the customer about this contract, you have to be authorized by your manager before you can talk to customers about this contract. If you don't know that you're authorized or not, you need to ask your manager. And as always, please take out the old and outdated contracts and put the new ones in. And this has been your Clark's Termite and Pest Control New Construction Termite Protection Service Agreement training.